Boy, I can tell you, soft skills are so important. I like teaching networking because I was so bad at it for a long time. In order to become a speaker, I didn't know I was going to do this. And when, at the very beginning of one of my first talks, I had a sheet of paper, and I put it on a board because I was shaking so much. And the sheet of paper had what I was going to say, the slide, and then it had breathe. The next one would say what I was going to say, the slide, it's almost over. That was slide 2. And I did that because one of my first talks, there was a woman kind of about where she is right now who stopped me at about 2 or 3 minutes in my talk, and she says, I think you've eaten something you're allergic to. Your neck is in red blotches. Of course, it was just nerves. I'm like, thank you for calming me down. And I realized I needed to be better and more comfortable, because if it's a distraction, so what I did for the next years, I all wore turtlenecks. That was one. I too went into Toastmasters and did some of those sorts of things. I then went and took acting classes. And I don't know if there's anything at Cornell here, but if there's a theater group that you can bring in, I would encourage you to do something like that, because I wanted to know my lines. And then I slipped on a rock and I took stand-up comedy. And if you want to be terrified, try doing a stand-up comedy routine. It's really terrifying. The one thing you learn is there's nothing unwritten, there's nothing unrehearsed about comedy. It's Saturday Night Live, but it's not Saturday Night unrehearsed. And you know, the jokes they tell, they've practiced them over and over again. By the time we did our final, which was to do a comedy routine, and it's just, it's the most frightening thing in the world. But you walk on the stage and there's lights, and frankly, you can't see anyone because it's just the lights are in your eyes. And you get that first laugh and you just are about ready to pass out because you're so relieved. But we knew each other's routines, and you know, we weren't laughing at all. The audience was laughing. And I have my kind of silly, you know, over again bad jokes. I like to find bad jokes that are funny but clean and appropriate that I can tell to all kinds of audiences. You know, for accountants, I talk about how can you tell an accountant is an extrovert. The answer is he's looking at your shoes. Okay.